All right, what's going on, everyone? It's it's episode 4 of the
What?
Jamari podcast. Yeah, man, I had 2 episodes, man, without you.
It's episode 4.
I had 2 episodes without you, man.
And
At the national championship.
No. Like, honestly, my dad like projected it on a wall on that game. Yeah, and that was like the one night he was like, yeah, you can stay up and stuff. I think
That
it was
night,
late.
That
Maybe?
night went down in Texas history, man.
Yeah,
It was the school night.
there's a lot of Longhorns there at the house. We were watching it, like big screen.
When we're talking about when UT won the national championship in 2006.
Yep, that was
Vince
it.
Young.
If you were watching it, it was breathtaking.
They blackballed our guy Vince Young out of the NFL, man. They screwed him.
They did?
Yeah. He was Rookie of the Year his first year. And then his coach, I think his name is Jeff Fisher, blackballed him. They made him seem crazy. They told everyone how he tried to commit suicide.
Oh.
And that was it.
Not Mr. Vince. I did not know this.
No, and apparently Vince is broke. So Vince Young was the football player. He was like, he didn't get the Heisman that year, but he was pretty much the best or second best football player coming out of that class with Reggie Bush. And
Won the championship.
he was supposed to be an NFL star. I mean, there's not a lot of quarterbacks, to be honest. There's not a lot of quarterback talent in the NFL, and he should have had a longer run than he did.
Yep, I think so. It was a great game.
I
watched a lot of that season.
When he was almost like Johnny Manziel, like his NFL career was like Johnny Manziel with like one good season, and after that that was just it. And then he got screwed. He's the original Kaepernick, man. Couldn't get a contract, man. Did he get a contract?
Kaepernick or Vince?
I feel like he might have, right? Kaepernick.
Oh, he's gonna go to the XFL.
No, man. I don't know, man. The Rocks League.
XFL.
I think
that's how Rock's gonna bring it back, man.
I think he was gonna go to the XFL last year, but he wanted like $5 million or something like that.
Rock's gonna do it for 15.
Yeah, Rock purchased XFL for how much?
For honestly, if to him, it's probably.
I think it was like 50 million or something.
Yeah.
Maybe that's completely wrong. I don't know, but I would go to an XFL game. Maybe.
Yeah.
Would you go to a sporting event right now?
Depends.
Would you go anywhere where you're gonna be around a lot of people right now?
I do every day. Like a lot of people.
Yeah.
Yeah. At Amazon, there's like.
And for how long are you around them though?
A little bit. I mean, it takes about an hour to load out, and then we get back. It takes maybe 45 minutes to check out and everything.
So that's not that bad.
Yeah. I mean, it's not awful.
And how many people do you come into contact with?
There's probably more than 100 there at Amazon right now. And they're probably going to get bigger.
But you talk to face-to-face? Do you have to talk to a lot of people? You just kind of show up and do your thing?
I mean, yeah, people talk, but I mean, they have all the standards, you know, like keep 6 feet away, like wear your mask and wash your hands. I mean, they're really strict, but I mean, I guess they have to be. But
well, just think if you're like a cashier somewhere, you have to see so many people every day. So.
Yeah, I mean. And
you don't know where they've been.
No, not really. You hope that they're washing their hands and they're doing all their necessities. Yeah, I mean, they're handling your food.
Yeah. I don't know if it can travel on food.
I hope not.
Well,
there's a lot of controversy around it.
Well, because they don't know that much about it. And then there's controversy about all the facts about this virus.
Yeah, like.
Mainly about how you can get it, how many people have it.
Yeah, how many people have it for sure.
Well, the thing is that it's probably actually more than what they think, because you know how many people probably have it or have had it and never got a test because they didn't show any symptoms?
Yep, they can just be all right, you know. I think younger people can just be okay. Have you seen these videos of, like, college kids just partying, you know? Young kids. Yeah. I don't think they're really afraid of that kind of thing.
Yeah, I don't see, like, I don't know. I don't know if I agree with them doing that either. That's crazy. Because they're gonna. Packed, I mean, they're gonna go all around just because you're asymptomatic. Packed. That means
San Marcos.
I mean, you're still gonna give it to a bunch of people. Yeah, I don't want to go near San Marcos.
It's dangerous, but I don't know. A lot of controversy, you know. I think like you said, I mean, we don't know too much about this kind of thing, especially like the treatments. I think it's weird how they can blackball some treatments and then be okay with others, you know?
Like what?
Um, so like putting people on ventilators, if like, let's say you have a broken arm, that arm would be like, it would lose its muscle, right?
Yes.
So that's kind of the same thing, I think, with the lungs. If you have something breathing for you, your lungs would eventually be like, all right, I don't have to do this anymore. You don't think so?
Yeah, well,
Like the muscles would atrophy is what I'm trying to say.
I mean, I'm just not really sure, to be honest. I have no idea.
Yeah.
But maybe. I just have heard that it's doing like critical damage to people where their lungs are never the same anyways.
Right.
Like my cousins had it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
And they're young.
I'm finding out some of my cousins have had it as well now.
Yeah, well, because they were still playing basketball, going to basketball tournaments and stuff, and so they got it because, I mean, that's really like a contact sport.
Yeah.
So they got it, and they were pretty much asymptomatic where they weren't showing any signs or, you know, like they had the sniffles and a cough. But then, like, my uncle got on the other hand, and then he got double pneumonia in both of his lungs. And they had to shoot plasma from someone who had had COVID into him.
That worked?
And it worked.
Yeah.
He got help. Like, he was, like, in a critical condition, I think.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what my...
like, to where it could have gone either way. And then they shot him with that stuff, and...
He was back.
He was back, dude.
It would be like a blood transfer.
It's like he got rezzed on Warzone, man.
They revived him.
They revived him with the needle. Stuck it in him. So that was good, man. I was like, thank God. But it's still scary because when the people are in the hospital, you can't go see them because no one's allowed in the hospital right now.
Mm-hmm. My mom was telling me a story that one of my cousins had to deliver a baby by herself. Like, the dad might have been like 6 feet away, you know how they say that? He might have been like on the other side of the street. Right. And then it's just her and like maybe the doctor, and she's young. She's like younger than I am, and like that's kind of crazy to me.
Just the world is heading into a place where it's never been before. I mean, it already kind of is, but it's probably going to stay like this, and I think people are realizing that it's not only going to stay like this, but I think depending on how the election goes, as crazy as that sounds, how much better or worse it's going to get and how much longer we're going to deal with it.
It'll just disappear?
Depending on who gets elected.
Red or blue. Red or bluish.
If it doesn't... I think if a Democrat gets elected, they're going to have the cure all of a sudden.
It's going to get away from the media.
Because this has to have been somewhat of a political move.
It seems. I mean, it's convenient.
A lot of it is very political, is what I'm trying to say. I mean,
they definitely are politicizing the, I guess, cures. I guess.
Well, I mean, the whole thing is political. You know, whether someone wants to wear a mask and not become political, which is insane.
Yeah. I mean,
you know what I mean? But they made it like that on purpose because of the shit people were saying.
There is an election coming up in a couple of days.
A couple of days is right.
It's close.
I mean, it's in November, and just think it's gonna be but that's really only a couple days. Think about how fast the time has been going during this quarantine. Because you wake up, you do the same thing.
It's going
most
quick.
days, man, and you don't go anywhere. You don't see anyone.
Time is speeding up.
And I see people that are just going out and doing stuff, but I don't know. It just doesn't seem like a good idea when you're seeing your family and stuff.
Have you heard of this controversial drug
that they're using to treat it? No.
So it's a malaria drug, right?
Mm.
And I mean, we've used it for years in places that malaria is bad. Mm-hmm. The disease that you get from mosquitoes.
Mm-hmm.
So if we've used it for years, it's kind of safe. I mean, they give it to pregnant mothers and stuff, and they're saying that kind of helps. That and something they call a Z-Pack.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
What's a Z-Pack?
I want to say it's zinc. I could be wrong, but zinc sounds convenient, and I think I've heard that in the past. And it might be one other thing. But that's what my mom said has helped my cousins. Because for some reason, the doctor told them that he wasn't eligible for a blood transfer.
And you can just get zinc, right?
Yeah, zinc's kind of common. You can take zinc pills.
And you can just get it from like Walmart.
Yeah, I take zinc pills. I think it's called calcium
and
magnesium.
what else do they say you should take? Vitamin D?
Yeah, and that's... I mean, you get that in the sun, but you can also take pills for that.
Yeah, because a lot of people, I'm sure, are not out in the sun enough during this time. I'm not. I mean, I know you are.
Oh, every day.
I mean, I could tell you are, man. You have like a baseball tan.
Yep. I'm dark.
Baseball tan's back, man. Were you getting light before?
A little.
Like from being inside? I feel so
it's weird, right? Because I'm used to
compared to how I used to be.
Like, I can feel it, like, but I don't, it's not like hurting me, like I'm not sunburned.
Well, and even even in past summers, I would like go out to a lake and spend a lot of time outside. But then like I started having summer school and stuff like that, and then my summers turned into like, I wouldn't go outside that much.
Yeah.
And then before that, we'd be outside every freaking day playing baseball.
Just several hours. You might be lacking. You might be lacking the vitamins necessity, man.
Oh, and that's something I wanted to talk about is how me and Dave met, because we never even talked about that on our first podcast. I just threw him on here.
It was quick.
Just threw him right into the.
No, you honestly asked me, and you're like, you want to hunt it up, and I was like, yeah, man, I'm down. I'm down for the podcast life.
I mean, I knew it would be good.
And I mean, I feel like we've always been having these kind of conversations since we were young, but now there's just a microphone in front of us, you know?
Oh, yeah, man. Well, I mean, for those of you, because not that many people listen to the first podcast we did, because I put it on my second channel. But this one's going to go on the first channel, so more people are going to see it.
Oh, there's going to be that many different opinions. And
we'll see, man. Yeah, we'll see what people have to say. I mean,
Dave's
going to learn.
They don't like it.
I mean,
get this guy out of here.
I just don't care. I don't care what they like. I'm thankful when people leave nice comments. I don't really care when people leave rude comments. And you're just gonna learn to see. You're gonna see some rude comments or whatever. It just happens, man. I mean, go into anyone's comment section, you'll find someone being weird, rude, or just saying some weird shit. But I don't know. I mean, I can't really care because I talk shit about people.
Yeah, I mean,
just comes with the territory, man. If I was like a super nice person, like I don't know what type of creator, then I think it'd be like more acceptable for me to be like mad about it. But that's why I don't really care.
Yeah, I think it's
unless you get on some like racist shit or something like that, and that's just kind of fucked up. Yeah, some racist shit. But that's it. If you just say something dumb, like a lot of times I want to reply, but I'm just like, it's really not worth it. This person is just not that smart.
Oh man, I guess I'm ready for it. But I don't really remember the day. I'm gonna be honest, but I remember we were in elementary.
The day we met, you expect me to remember, man? It was like
right. It's not. We just kind of grew up together. So like, since I remember having memories, I remember.
Well, cause I moved there to this smaller school from living in Austin.
Like young, right?
And Dave had been going to in fourth grade.
That's kind of when I remember having like,
and we were in the same
memories.
We were in the same class. That is when I started having real memories too. A lot of stuff before that's pretty blurry.
Right, I remember it maybe like a day, but
I mean I remember like a girl I liked or something like that, or like friends I had. But like now I start remembering, like I still remember shit from like certain days. Anyways, yeah, like we went to elementary school with a lot of kids that we ended up going to high school with and shit.
Yeah, kind of in the same community, in the same school areas and everything. We all stayed kind of relatively close, I guess, or we all hung out together at that age.
Well, at first, yeah, we were just like good friends from school, and then we both played baseball, but we didn't play on the same teams for a long time.
Yeah, we're kind of separated, right, a little bit, but we knew each other from the baseball life.
Yes, I just I would not play with the people from that school for a long time for some reason. I was playing with people from like Austin schools too, I think.
Yeah. It's kind of a weird community, the baseball life. I mean, you know people, but you're like, oh, these are the...
When at first you were in rec leagues, and I wouldn't play in the same rec leagues. I would play at Manchaca.
Uh-huh. Like
this,
the
rec league called Manchaca, and they would play at another one across town.
Yeah. There's a lot of baseball leagues.
But sometimes we would face off. Or sometimes we would like get close to facing off maybe. And sometimes play against each other.
Maybe in the championships and stuff.
No, I remember like when we were real young, we would play against each other, and it was always so fun playing against someone you knew.
Yeah, it's kind of a little like a competitive.
Like, I better at least get a base hit, or if they're pitching, man, you pitched against me a couple times, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I pitched against a lot of people. I mean, it was a weird feeling, you know. You're like,
you can't let someone you know strike you out, man.
This is it. That's who.
I wasn't really a pitcher, so I didn't really have that moment a lot. But I would face other people I knew.
It was fun. I did it quite often, especially against, I don't know, someone you know. It's just different.
Oh, what about a whole team of people you know?
They're probably gonna be chattering, you know, because I mean, there's a lot of them.
Yes. Oh, there'd be some teams that you'd play. I mean, some teams would literally become your rival, like during the game. when you get older, or even when you're young.
Yeah.
I mean, just shit talking, and then sometimes you turn around.
Get a little scared,
or the other team turns it around after you've been talking a bunch of shit.
Some teams were so good at it, like they would win the game before they even played. Like they knew as long as we talked a certain amount of shit.
Well, some teams were so disrespectful that they wouldn't even talk shit.
That was next level.
They were just like, y'all aren't even worth shit talking. Because some teams, I mean, are just like, I mean, obviously these tournaments, there's gonna be some guys that are gonna go to the MLB and shit, and at least high level colleges. So when you're playing against a full team of those guys, they're all like,
it's incredible what some of these people can do.
They're like 14 and they're all 6 feet tall.
Yeah, they kind of hit their growth spurts maybe a little early, but they are indeed.
Or they're just gonna be big. I mean, they're just gonna be big ass motherfuckers. And yeah, like doing that shit for so long and then not doing it one day was crazy. It's like having a job your whole life.
Yeah,
you do it every day.
You wake up, get dressed
in your uniform. You're like,
you got an hour to be there.
You ever have a bad uniform?
Yeah, your day's gonna be bad.
Or like, yeah, like you ever been on a team or like been helping a team out and their uniform was just terrible?
Oh yeah, like the way it looks and stuff.
And just like maybe the way it feels. Like one year we got these really like on a summer team or whatever I played on. We got these really like thick ass like wool jerseys almost, and they were so hot and ugly.
You gotta wear them.
All the shit we would get looked like it was from Mexico, man. How come no one could ever just take it seriously and just get a fucking Nike hat? Right? That was so hard for the coaches to do, man. Motherfuckers.
They just look better.
No, I told Dave the other day that, you know, we'd be like 12 through 18, and you would have coaches who were like in their early to mid 20s, maybe late 20s. And these guys would always be like, have the hottest girlfriends.
Yeah, they're the athletes, you know. We're saying since a young age, there was always this certain group of.
I think it's kids. The coach thing, man. It's the coach groupie thing. Coaches have groupies.
Coaches.
Definitely, man. There's something that is attractive about them leading the pack, I think. I'm serious, dude.
To a championship.
Or some shit. Oh, he's a successful coach. He's a mastermind.
They've won a lot of games.
He's got a deep mind. I'm serious, dude. Coaches have groupies for sure, and like team moms.
Yeah, bring in the snacks.
Yeah, bring me a special snack. Like, why is Connor starting this week, Coach? His mom fucking paid a visit.
They want to get their son in, or yeah, they want to get him some playing time.
Yeah, I remember we had this coach, and he had like, God, his girlfriend was so hot. I remember we were like 14, and they were like probably 25, so we were like, damn, like we were all in love with her or whatever. And no, this guy, we went to Bikinis with him, and all the girls from Bikinis, like, which is a restaurant where all the waitresses walk around in swimsuits. For people who don't know, they were all just all over him, bro. And like he was just like, whatever. Like he didn't care. It was his birthday.
He was used to it, right?
He was used to it, man.
Your whole team went there to eat.
Yes. And I think they were like, oh, it's so cute. You know what I mean?
That's the first time I've ever been to a place like that.
It's always with the team, man.
My coach took us there.
To Hooters or some shit like that.
I was like, whoa. But I mean, the wings were okay, I think.
It's always cool, but as an older person, like or even as a person at that time, I would always think it's just creepy. Like the whole concept is just you just come and stare at women. Right, the food is. I don't remember the wings being remarkable. And you're literally paying for these women to flirt with you. Like it's so crazy. Yeah, it's like a lighter prostitution. You're paying for the woman's time. Right, because they're like, they want like. And they're like a stripper. Like for the most part, they're probably just like flirting, but they're just playing them. Yeah, for the money. Yeah. It's a weird place. It's a cool place to go with the team, but other than that, man. Me and my dad went a couple times. I wouldn't want to be that. I'm never like, hey, I really have the urge. Well, like me and my dad went a couple times, like, when they would like before a UT baseball game. So like a lot of UT fans would be in there, and to me that's they're watching the game. Yeah, that's more just like, at least you're there for like an event. Like if you're there for the Super Bowl or you're there for an event, okay, I get it. But if you're just going there. Fucking on during the week and shit. What the fuck? What's wrong with you? When no offense, I mean, I'm not trying to be rude, and I know there's tons of smart women out there who are in the sex industry and stuff, and that's being in the sex industry, right? You're making tips off your body. Yeah, you are, but I guess you're not technically having sex. And sometimes you go to the wrong shift, and the chicks are freaking busted. We've been sometimes, and it's called Hooters, and then they're walking around, and I guess maybe they got in trouble for discrimination because nobody has Hooters. I mean, that's the whole point of the thing. But either way, it's not as it's advertised yet. Yeah, it's not as advertised. They put a fucking Cowboys cheerleader on the advertisement, and then you go in there, and it's some chick that you could have known in high school. No, I'm not trying to be rude, and like I said, I know there's tons of smart women out there in the sex industry and whatever, but man, a lot of the ones I've known that do that shit for a long time, don't just do it and get out, they're not smart. They're not. And I hate to say it, they're just money, crazy. Man. It's too much money at a young age. Beating people up and shit. It's a tough industry, right? Because once you get old, you're out of it. Once you get older, just once you're in it for long enough, you're probably gonna get like a tit job, and then you're gonna get that new butt stuff that girls get, and that's once you've taken it to a whole other level. I mean, that's just crazy. For a man to do this, you said. Well, there's no like guy equivalent. It's a drug dealer. It's a drug dealer. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I've always seen it like that. I see. And strippers date drug dealers often. I'm sure. You know? But yeah. Because girls aren't really drug dealers, I don't think. I've never bought drugs from a girl. I've never bought drugs either. Just when you've never met a girl that's like, hey, do you want to buy this? Do you want to buy that? That's always a man. I mean, sometimes even just walking in downtown San Antonio, I would get approached like, hey, bro, you want to buy some bars? You want to buy some weed? Be like, they would. That's
Over there is the first place I've ever
where people just offer it.
Yeah.
And yes, like come up to you. In Austin, people won't just offer it.
No. And
like, it's just weird.
Not
like
that I remember.
If you're to that point where you're just offering it out, what does that tell me about you?
Yeah, it was weird because it happened like right out of our apartment, like where we lived in during college. It happened like right outside.
Yeah, that's weird, man.
Right outside the door, and I was like, "Oh my goodness!" Like I didn't even want to go back because I didn't want them to know that I lived there. But I was like, "Sorry, guys. It's not for me."
Well, that first year, it would just be a lot of crazy shit you would see. A lot of crazy shit going on at that
right?
apartment.
Like every night almost. Every other night. It was a different experience every night.
It was fucking crazy and weird, and shit was broken, and they wouldn't fix it. Shit was just fucked up. Yep. After a while, were you sick of living there?
Yeah. It was like a party every day, right? So you got... I got tired.
If you wanted to be a party every day. Well, because... Oh, that was something else I really wanted to talk about. First off, yesterday I shaved my face because... I think I did it, honestly, because the podcast was starting. Oh. Because there's supposed to be a video recording with this, but I lost my memory card, so maybe I'm sabotaging myself.
Oh. You lost it on purpose because you didn't want to...
Well, now I look like I'm 17.
You don't want that youngness on you.
I just look like a douchebag in high school again. So I just need to grow my facial hair back out, and I posted a picture of it on my Instagram, and not one person said anything nice. There was a bunch of mean shit.
No.
But whatever. My facial hair grows back really fast, and but anyways,
people are ruthless behind a screen, man.
Oh yeah, man.
Like, well, you wouldn't see people coming up to you and saying stuff.
Maybe my girlfriend didn't speak too highly about it either, man.
What?
My mom liked it. That's never a good sign when your mom likes something but everyone else doesn't like it. No, but I'm the type of person that I always fuck up. Like, when I was in school, I would fuck up my first day of school outfit because I would overthink it. And I would wear some combination of shit that I'm not going to fucking wear for the whole rest of the year.
You wouldn't do on a regular.
And I'm sitting there on the first day of class. I see everyone else's cool fits. And I'm like, dude, I'm doing the most of this bitch-ass fit I wore today. I'd fucked up, man. A camo shirt.
Oh, man. And you go off for the first day?
Some big old Vans.
First
day, man. I remember the first day back.
A lot of people just had their first day.
You would get a first day you would get a first week wardrobe or whatever.
You get it in line. You're lucky. Because you'd all kind of buy it at the same time, maybe. So that'd be.
Well, and there's certain things, or at least my parents were like this. Like, for some reason, they just wouldn't let me buy it. You know what I mean?
I could never buy a cap. I could never.
Or like certain shoes. They're just like, nah, you're not gonna get those. And I'm like, why? They're not practical enough.
You don't need that.
Or those shoes don't have enough support.
But I feel like I need it.
Would you ever run around the store to see if the shoes are gonna be good?
No one's looking. I'd take a quick jab.
Run around with those spikes on, your baseball spikes at Academy.
You'd slip on the floor.
Yeah, man. Miss it. Clank, 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 clank.
On the concrete. That's a noise that is nowhere else ever besides the baseball tournament.
No, and the funniest thing is when you're young playing baseball, there's some girls that just want to date a baseball player. Like, what kind of requirement is that?
I mean, the bar is low.
The bar is super low for some baseball players. They're just terrible people. Just like any sport, there's some horrible people attracted to it.
Sometimes at high levels, there's the best ones are like just awful people.
Oh yeah, you don't have to be a good person to be good at anything.
No, that's scary.
I mean, a lot of stuff always comes out about these people was like after they die, like some of the greats, like they were fucked up people.
That they were just gone. They were just.
Well, like what's that guy? What's that guy's name? Karl Malone, the basketball player. Like, he's like a legendary basketball player. They call him the mailman.
The mailman.
He's why Post Malone is his name. Anyway.
Right, I know the name.
So he's like a legendary basketball player. And like, all these years ago, he got this 13-year-old girl pregnant.
Oh, that's... What? I didn't... That's great.
Yeah, and like, people have known about it, but I guess back in the day, people didn't give a fuck.
Well, how many people do you think knew about it? They didn't
like,
have, like,
I think
the
it
internet.
Was news.
They didn't have...
I mean, it probably hit the news, but just think, back in the day, things didn't live on forever. Like, I go on this guy...
Shit died, right?
Well, like, do you know about Brother Nature? Or do you know who Brother Nature is?
Like... Yeah, he was famous for a little bit, like, on Instagram,
on Twitter,
and then, like,
mainly, and I guess on Instagram.
And you then he had like an incident.
Yes, so
I remember this. Yes.
So he had this. So Brother Nature was this guy, and he's this Mexican dude. I guess he's Mexican, or is he black?
I don't know.
I think he's Mexican, and but he's one of those Mexican guys that think they're black.
He's got waves.
He's got a black side. He's got a black side to him. If he's black, I'm sorry. You know, we're just being fucked up. But either way, this guy, like, to me, he's the type of guy that other men don't like.
I always thought it was a little fake. But
anyways, his whole bit was that he loved I'm sure he loves animals. He wants to be like the hood Steve Irwin. Is that his name? Steve Irwin?
Yeah, the alligator man.
He wants to be like the new age Steve Irwin. He'd be hanging out with deers and all kinds of animals. After a while, he was famous.
Feeding animals.
He's still super famous, don't get me wrong. But he had this incident. He was universally loved, is what I'm trying to say. Okay? And he had this incident where he went into a pizza shop and started like talking shit to these guys, and they were shit talking him back. And he basically, I guess some people get a huge ego once they blow up like this. And he pointed at them and he said, dead man, and then they beat the brakes off of him apparently.
They slapped the shit out of him.
Yeah, they beat the shit out of him, these two guys. But I guess he was the one that was being confrontational.
There's video of it. I saw it. I was like, oh man.
Well, my point is that probably happened over a year ago, right?
Yeah, it
might have been a year and a half, something like that. I don't know. Internet time seems like forever, but people still, under every single one of his posts, say, like, mock him for it. Say, oh, you thought we forgot? That's what they say. You thought we forgot? And they say, dead man. Like, shit like that.
Oh.
People don't forget on the internet.
No,
like,
not anymore.
Not for certain people. I don't know what it is.
But others, they do?
Yeah.
Others, they forget.
If you have a younger demographic, I think, people are more forgiving. Because they don't really understand. Like, when you're young, you don't understand what's fucked up and why necessarily. Like, you do, but
you do it.
but you don't understand, like, adult shit, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
I didn't know when I was younger.
Of course, no one does.
doing kid shit.
Until you start living your life.
You're a kid.
Yeah, so, I guess, I don't know, that's what I'm trying to say.
Innocent. You have, like, an innocence about you.
Yeah, so, like, people just don't forget, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. Or even, like, this, I just made this video today about this girl, the AT&T girl. I don't know if you've seen all this stuff.
Yeah.
About her milkers, man.
What?
Well, that's what they've been calling them.
I've seen the comments.
Well, and even in the interview, she addressed it. In, like, an Instagram live, she called them, like, was talking about milkers and all this shit.
Even that, right? You wouldn't see them doing that in person, you don't think, maybe?
Oh, 100% no.
Yeah. Right? It's strange.
But it's probably just...
behind the phone just has ruined us as a society.
Well, I said, like, in the video, like, I think it's either a lot of, like, really creepy guys who, like, never talk to girls in their life or some shit. Or it's just kids.
And they're just trying to get in their head.
Jumping on the trend. That's really what it comes down to at the end of the day, is that ding, ding, ding. Motherfuckers want to jump on every single trend and just, like, it's legitimately not cool to like certain shit. Like certain music artists, certain TV shows, certain people on YouTube, whatever it is, certain music, whatever it is.
Divide. and conquer.
There's some people that will. There's some artists out there, like if you listen to Russ or something and you say, "Man, I love Russ's
This
music,"
song isn't that bad.
There's always going to be someone there ready to say like, "Fuck him, he's a horrible artist." But just simply because you enjoy the music, which is so weird to me.
The mob will come after you.
I mean,
for liking anything.
I can just see how that would be really harmful against someone's career, because then people don't even want to say like I fuck with this music because they're scared other people are gonna say like that shit's trash just because they that's just the popular opinion.
Yep. You believe in the hive mind?
Well, it's crazy when you see the tide kind of turn for someone that people didn't like at first. And then all of a sudden, like, it comes out that they were speaking that, like, real shit. Well, like, there was this guy, well, like, do you know that YouTuber Shane Dawson?
I've heard of his name, yeah.
So, he had made a video, like, this other guy had made a video critiquing, like, all this shit that was basically true. It came out to be true, like, eventually. But during the time, everyone was on that guy Shane Dawson's dick. So, like, he got a lot of hate for that video, and people were, like, talking massive shit to him. And either way, he became all fucked up. Now he's on all these drugs, like, doing all this crazy shit. Like, this guy ruined his life. Because he, like, highlighted him, you know what I mean? And made him get a bunch of hate.
Yeah.
And now people are realizing, like, oh, you were right that whole time. But it's, like, already too late.
Dang, he's already been fired. He's already been blacklisted.
He's already been blacklisted in the way that no one's checking for him anymore. I mean, the internet moves so fast that if you aren't going hard like all the time, people are gonna stop checking for you.
Really?
Unless you're a certain person, like a certain type of person that makes like, you know, upper echelon, super super high quality. I mean, it's like people that make music, like. For Kendrick, people could wait 5 years, and then when he drops an album,
it's still less.
It's gonna be trending #1. It's gonna sell like fucking crazy. It's gonna be like, man, the fucking king is back in this shit. Except for several artists, you know, not just Kendrick, but you know, Beyonce, well. Jay-Z.
They don't have to do it on the regular.
The fucking Adele, people like that. But then there's other artists that it's like, I need to keep fucking going, or else I'm gonna lose I'm not gonna be hot anymore. Like DaBaby, for example, or like who's someone else right now that's popular, like a Blueface.
The young ones.
Like Lil Pump, like someone like that. Like he could not stop making music even if he wanted to. Tekashi 6ix9ine, he has to make music or he's gonna just fall off.
You think they're in debt? They got a lot of people to pay. You think they've ever skipped out on a payment?
I don't know how all that's set up, but
it's complicated, right? You got like
the dumbest thing you can do is have a big entourage of people that you didn't know before you became famous.
You gotta have people that
you have no idea what their motives are. I mean, you have no idea what anyone's motives are, but at the end of the day, I'm much more likely to trust someone who genuinely liked me before I had all this, you know, fame and riches that these rappers have.
Yeah. That's a big part.
A lot of them fuck up, man. And I mean, that's what happened to Tekashi. He got taken in by that gang, and he was never even a gang member.
I never really understood what happened, but I know he went to jail over some gangs,
Well, it was all a gimmick, pretty much.
And they trapped him.
I mean, what they were doing was using him as a way to promote their gang.
Oh.
But he wasn't ever really in the gang before he became famous.
So
he was pretty much a poser. But he also was getting on the inside, and they were planning to, like, kill him and fuck his girlfriend.
Oh.
Yes, they were planning to kill him and fuck his girlfriend, like it came out. They kidnapped him, and people were still like, oh, he's such a snitch, because he pretty much ratted out the whole gang, and now their operation, it just got completely, like, narked.
Ruined. Oh, I didn't know the details to this.
Yeah, it's crazy.
He's in a situation, you know? I mean, hey, they tried to kill him and fuck his girlfriend.
And he was facing 50 years in prison.
Oh. Yeah,
he sang like a bird, just like anyone would. If you wouldn't sing like a bird...
Why wouldn't you?
you're just an idiot, especially if you're in a situation like him, where
and for a gang.
Yes, for a gang that you weren't even a part of your whole life. It was all for show.
Fuck no.
Yeah, I wonder what his financial situation is if he's truly killing it. I mean, I know he's, as a gimmick, he's very popular, but I don't think there's anyone really just chilling bumping his music. Like, I think his YouTube videos get a shitload of plays.
That's how they trap him. They gotta keep making music, pay off.
And music videos. This motherfucker always has a music video for every song.
You're trapped forever.
He is trapped forever. I'm sure there's a lot of days where you're like, dude, I wish I could just be back to chilling, like
no one
at my house, like at my.
I think it's more personal, right?
It's more personal. You feel like you're part of something. There's audience interaction, somewhat, and
you maybe like they do it at work, or you have something to listen to, right? You have something that informs you about things. You like these people. I don't know.
I think, yeah, and it just makes people feel like they're part of something. And I think that's really important for people, like right now more than ever, honestly.
Yeah, that's that team mentality.
I mean, people are fucked up right now. It makes me think about
all the I mean, a lot of fucked up stuff's going on. There's stuff that's never happened before, really, in our lifetime
coming to light,
right? Like, we had someone, a high level person, be arrested in this pedophile ring. Yes. And he died in prison, like in a prison, like high security level. Yeah, that doesn't freak anyone out.
Well, so explain it to me though, because I'm informed, but I'm not, like, I haven't seen the documentaries and stuff.
So I know a little about it. A lot of people say, conspiracy theory stuff. But I mean, years ago, people would say, no, you're crazy for even saying anything like that.
Yeah.
But one of these persons were arrested. How they found out that his island was being ran as a sex trafficking area. I guess they had someone on the inside rat. I don't know how they did that, but they found his flight logs. They found
Epstein.
Women, right. They found women that, admitted. They found pictures of these women with high-level politicians. Celebrities, musicians.
And sometimes kids hanging around?
They were young at the time, right? And now they're coming forward. People are starting to listen to them. They've been coming forward for a while, but, for some reason, this kind of stuff disappears. This whole death has disappeared from the news.
Well, if you're rich, and especially if you're white, you can make anything disappear.
It'll just vanish.
But debatably now, for other races too. Okay? So if you want something to disappear, you have to be rich. That's your only option.
It's the goal. It's the golden rule.
It's the golden rule.
The golden rule. Those with all the gold make the rules.
Yeah, so actually we're going to take a quick little pee break for a second. And we will be right back after this commercial.
To the weather.
All right, so we're back. I was saying I kind of wanted to jump more into the pedophile thing.
Hollywood is burning. Well, also, politicians, powerful people, powerful people.
Will Smith?
Oh, you think Mr. Smith? Not the Fresh Prince.
John Legend?
The best guitarist to come since fucking Jimi Hendrix.
Who else? Michael Jordan? No, I'm just saying.
No, not Michael. That's strange.
Nah, but...
have you ever heard this thing that, Michael Jackson was, using his, property as, a safe haven, and now they're trying to come after him?
What do you mean a safe haven?
For these young ones that are being trafficked. I don't know. I mean, this is a very, very conspiracy that I read on Twitter. Was using it to keep Not everything safe? Not everything on Twitter is true. I don't know. I just read it on Twitter. It had a lot of likes, had a lot of retweets.
Like the people who took in the Jews during the Holocaust?
Yes. I don't know.
Or people that would take in slaves?
Right.
That's pretty much what he's doing.
Right.
Modern day.
This is modern day slavery is what we're discovering slowly.
I mean, some people are going to say there's still slaves in this world. Because I guess there is still slaves.
Right?
Somewhere.
On other parts of the world, there's
slavery going
people
on.
that certainly looked.
I mean, there's got to be little pockets of the world that really are off civilization.
Right? They're not as developed. I mean,
Yeah,
a lot of people don't want to say that, but
even if it's a civilization of 100 people, they have
different.
They have 1,000 square miles or whatever.
Yeah,
there's a chance they're undiscovered. I mean, they've found undiscovered people before and fucked up and like gotten too close. Because you really should, I guess, leave them alone.
Yep.
But that is interesting,
Shanky.
like what language they would speak and shit.
I think they're just done, man. They're just done.
Hollywood
is burning.
Yeah, but I don't know if it's really gonna happen.
They're too powerful.
I mean, all this other stuff's going on right now too.
There's a lot of stuff, convenient stuff, right? Have you seen that picture of all those tornadoes that were in that body of water? Was that real?
No, or I don't know.
That was different.
I know it rained here. God damn. I know it rained here the other day.
Texas, baby.
Texas, rolling through with the muzzler. Is that what it's called? The muffler?
Hey, that's a style.
People
that was a moderate one.
Tell me that people that know about cars aren't such they can be such dicks to other people who don't know about cars. They just expect everyone to fucking know everything about a car.
The most complicated. You don't know how to put an engine together?
I want you to know everything about every speck of the car. I don't give a shit. It gets me from here to there. I take it to get the oil changed. I take it to rotate the tires and shit.
Man.
And that's it. They last for a long time. Who gives a fuck? But some people are addicted to that shit. I can't fault them. But, like if someone came in here, I wouldn't say, oh, you don't know how to use this microphone?
You don't know how to set up all this
plug all this shit in? You don't know how to set up the software on the computer and set the camera up like this and do that and that? Like,
yeah,
I don't get why people who like cars do that shit.
I had no clue what was going on in here.
It's like the equivalent to that meme, like, oh, you like football? What's the coach's last name? Like, daughter's fucking name or some shit.
The meme life.
The meme life, man. It's the real life now, though. Real life's
it's like a little story, right?
Life's a meme, man.
Picture's worth 1,000 words. It's funny. I used to have the iFunny. I used to be on that throughout all high school.
It's the original, dude.
Right? That's the original meme content creation place.
Well, we're the age that when we were like in middle school, it wasn't a smartphone yet.
It was just a regular phone, right? You could text.
When we got to high school, that was maybe the first time we got smartphones, and I had Androids.
And we had access to the internet and Twitter,
yes. Like before that, it was always a flip phone.
Yep. It was different, right? Kids these days don't know that life. I remember my first phone, and my grandfather gave it to me. And it was a weird occasion, but it was a gift,
Yeah.
And all I could do was call people, text people. It had like a little...
I mean, that's all phones used to have to do.
Right? It had like a little beep.
Better times, man.
Beep, a little snake game.
And then social media. I mean, for some of you out there that are old, you're probably like, no shit, dumbass. But some kids really don't know this shit. I mean, social media you only used to use it on the computer.
It's just amazing.
It wasn't on your phone.
People don't think that's amazing, right? How quick it came. Like, it was one generation, one lifetime.
The phone got so much more powerful. That's what it really is.
It's a little black mirror that we have in our pockets that has access to the entire planet.
It is creepy when stuff that is a black mirror or whatever, like a TV screen and shit, turns off and you just see yourself in it. It's fucking a
like,
black
this
hole.
This is what I look like.
It's a black hole that just sucks you in all day.
That's what I've given hours of my life to.
It's like a new Matrix. Like they say people are inside the Matrix when they like work a 9 to 5 and all that shit. Mm-hmm. Being on the internet all day is a new Matrix.
It's the second one.
I'm on the internet all day.
It's the 5 to 8, it's the other hours.
But I've spent time where I'm like not on the internet at all, and it really doesn't make a big difference.
I think it was weird that kids are, I don't know, I guess it's a generalization, but I feel like younger kids used to be outside all the time. like just playing, I don't know, baseball, riding their bikes and stuff. Now they can be inside, watching.
Oh, all kids are always
stuff.
inside on the freaking video game, playing Fortnite, watching YouTube.
They got the light in their face. They're not in the sun. They're lacking the vitamins.
Well, and don't get me wrong. As a kid growing up, I played so many video games. I watched a lot of TV, but God, I would go outside every day for hours just to play.
I remember dedicating
but some
2
kids
days,
still do it.
2 days to Red Dead, the original.
Oh shit! Video games have always been my shit. I still play a lot of video games.
I kind of want to get the new system. I'm ready. I haven't had a system since the PlayStation 3 days.
Come on, Dave.
But I'm going to be back sooner or later. And it's going down.
Someone get this man a PlayStation. Come on, it's been out for a long time. I was like him for a while, but then I was broke.
I've been off the Matrix,
Well, I was broke.
But I'm ready to come back.
I'm buying this PlayStation anyway, and it brought me so much joy. Well, because before
I heard it's where happened, real men bond these days.
It is, bro. I mean, before all this shit happened, if you go out for the night, you might spend $100 anyway.
Yeah, and
especially if you're with a date.
I think you definitely would.
Maybe 120.
You definitely spend. That's an easy.
I picked up my PlayStation for about $250. Got PlayStation Plus $60. Came with a dope ass game. I played for months, and
I'm ready for Red Dead.
Like $310. That's like going out 3 times back in the day, and I didn't have money back then. Like any sort of money. I was fucking.
It was weird. It was a weird time.
Well, it's because you can only work part time, and then you're relying on like your student loan money and shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just no good. It's a hard way to live, man.
It's difficult at a young age.
I
do kind of miss college. It had its uniqueness, but it was very expensive.
It was very expensive, especially at first with not a lot of money.
And why? And it's gonna be all online, right? So
fuck that.
And the same price? I'm gonna be like, ooh.
Probably more expensive.
Ask questions.
More to do stuff like that.
Let's ask some questions.
It costs a lot more to do shit like that. I feel bad for anyone who's still in school. Luckily, we both graduated from college in 2019, so we haven't had to be in college for over a year. For Dave, over a year and a half.
Yeah.
And for me, around the same time. And I fucking cannot imagine. If I was a freshman, would you be partying?
I don't know. It's a weird time. I feel like at the time, if I was drinking and all day, maybe I'd be like,
well, and at the time, we showed up. It was like the first bit of freedom you ever get.
Ever in your entire life, you move out.
What you were most excited about when you were going back to, or when you went to college, freshman year, moved in?
Doing bad shit.
Doing bad shit, man. Doing party shit.
Doing shit my parents told me not to do.
And I remember thinking like, no, this sounds so not cool. But I remember thinking like, dude, I can go and like take girls to IHOP at 3 a.m. and then they can come back to my place.
It's a different world. Yeah. It's a different world.
And that shit happened.
You stayed up late every night. You're up late, doing bad shit.
Doing shit you shouldn't be doing with people you barely know.
What?
Everyone just becomes your friends. When you first get to college,
everyone's just you go to this school too? You're like, yeah.
Oh, what's your major, bro? And like no one even fucking knows. 2 years later, you see them, they're doing something completely different.
Different time.
It was just different times. The world was so much more chill.
There wasn't.
I'm not gonna lie, guys. When before this last presidency, like if we would have just had a regular white guy Republican president, we'd be fine. We wouldn't have all this racial division. We wouldn't have all this crazy shit going on. But when Trump got elected, especially after Obama, because people were mad, Republicans are real mad about Obama.
Right.
It just let the fucking bag loose. The cat's out the bag. The fucking Pandora's box has been opened for like 4 years now.
Yeah.
Really 5 years, because the whole year before he was running, That's when it all started. People started getting fucking crazy.
Like right at that time.
But when we were still graduating, everything was still so chill, dude. Everything about the
We're
world was
normal.
chill. And
you
that's
think
how
it's an attack? They don't want him reelected.
I think that he was just unstoppable.
There's a lot of well, it was a weird time, right?
That was the whole thing. If
you know the connection between the Hollywoods burning and the politicians are burning, it was him versus someone that people did not want in office.
Exactly. No, and not only that, but she got zero support from anyone who liked Bernie because they knew she fucked him. She fucked him over. She fucked him over. He should have been the candidate. 2 years in a row, he should have been this fucking candidate. And
Bernie, man.
I would have voted for that motherfucker. Because at the end of the day...
He might have had a chance.
Well, at the end of the day, I think a lot of stuff about Republican ideology is correct. And in general, eventually in my life, it probably helped me. Because I want to be someone who makes a decent amount of money. Uh-huh. But at the end of the day... Some things I'm like, okay, that's too harsh. Like, some things have to be more socialist just from a human being standpoint. Mm-hmm. And that's really the only time. Like, I think that people should, have access to healthcare.
Right, like
especially if you're a citizen of this country.
As far as like going to the doctor.
Yes, or like if I'm dying. And they can do an operation on me, I shouldn't have to wait 2 months because I don't have healthcare.
Right. That seems like you would keep them alive.
And those are like some of the only places I agree with democratic ideology. But honestly, there's people on both sides of the spectrum that just make me like, oh man, like what a douchebag. You know what I mean? Like you don't.
Well, it's become every issue like. Politics issue has become so politicized that
well, and you have to be on one side or not.
Yeah, it's the red and blue, right? It's the
but it's so dumb because some things, of course, everyone's gonna be like, oh yeah, well I do kind of agree with the other side on this.
Yeah,
but they won't ever admit it. A lot of people.
Yeah, that's all the money.
And then there's a big other group of people that are like, fuck it, I don't give a fuck. And I think that's more where I fall. I mean, I want to be informed somewhat, but at the end of the day, it's not going to have that much of an effect on my life.
As far as in who's all in office?
Yeah, like as far as like being the type of person, I understand why you would do this if you're that type of person, but like going and protesting and doing all this shit, like I get it, but I just, in my personal life, I don't have the time or energy to do that compared to like doing things that are going to be helpful. Right. For myself and my family. Because at this point, the world's going to get to a place where it's going to be like every person for themselves, possibly.
It's getting hectic.
That's what I'm saying. Streets. So you have to make sure you're taking care of yourself, not trying to take care of a whole group of other people. That's too hard, whether you're on either side. Like I don't have the mental energy to fucking put into all that shit.
Yeah. For the past... a lot of days there's been a lot of protests, there's been a lot of breaking into businesses,
but again
there's been a lot of fires
because of this new video. Is that why video? The Jacob
there's a new one, yeah.
But is that why they're protesting again? I mean, they're picking up again, or it just never has stopped?
Yeah, that one happened in Wisconsin, I believe. There's video out. I mean, immediately they started, breaking into places, which the video looks not great. He has his kids in his car. The officer shoots him, it's like 7 times. That's pretty crazy.
Yeah, I mean, in general, just like anything else, there's some really like not qualified cops out there right now. Because no one wants to be a police officer anymore. So they're sending guys out there like 2 weeks after they start training.
Pretty quick. I don't want to be a police officer. Well, it's very... I wouldn't want to do it.
Well, I don't know if you know this, but we went to high school with someone that he was a police officer. Mm-hmm. And now like he quit.
He doesn't want to do it anymore.
It's over, man. I remember
It's done.
I'm friends with his sister.
It's a weird thing, you know, right?
She posted a text from him saying, "I'm scared to go out there" and all this stuff.
Oh man, yeah. It's a weird thing, you know, being an authority figure over someone that you don't really know. You don't anything. You go up to them. You don't know if they have a weapon or anything.
It is scary. It's a scary job.
Because they come in contact, honestly, with a lot of people that are on drugs. And I have someone close to me that's on drugs. He's actually, you know, been arrested at this point, but they become different people.
Out of character.
Yeah, and violent.
Like, they could do something that you would never have seen them doing when they're sober.
Yeah. And it's like you can't really get through to them. Yeah.
It is true. I mean, definitely true that they come across a ton of people on drugs.
Like hard drugs. Like,
well, sometimes you just see like
I think there's a stigma
last part of the clip, but I don't know, because I don't know. It's hard to say.
I think people react too quick, you know. We don't know necessarily everything, but we can definitely handle it in a different situation. Like, they're breaking into a lot of vehicles. Mm-hmm. I mean, I'd be like, "Hey, man, why are you breaking into my vehicle?" I'm not the problem.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know. It's just a real the whole thing is a real slippery slope, because there's really defense for anything. You could say, "Oh man, that he has to break in there because he can't get a job, and because of all this stuff, because he went to prison, and people who went to prison can't get a job." Like, people get really deep into this shit. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, everyone will have an excuse for somebody else at this point. And no matter what your opinion is, you'll find someone who agrees with you, and no matter what, you know, you'll find someone who disagrees with you too.
Yeah.
And people will just go crazy.
You feel like the streets will clean up after November 1st?
Maybe. At least all that stuff won't be so publicized.
Right.
I mean, these stories have been mainstream, huge stories.
It'll be gone.
And I've seen a lot of mixed opinions. But, you know, I do think that police officers, even if someone's being hostile or whatever, you shouldn't shoot them. You can tase them. You have a taser too. Especially,
they don't have to shoot them so many times. Have you? Every video that comes out, they shoot them a lot.
And you can shoot someone in the leg, or you can shoot them in the arm. Like, you would think as a police officer, you would know how to shoot someone without killing them.
Yeah, why do you have to shoot them so many times? That would be the question that I ask.
Yeah, well, that's what makes it look really, really bad. And just the way he grabs him and stuff. Like, the guy really didn't look like he was being, like, out of pocket. Like, I've seen some you know, people of a lighter skin color, I mean, run around naked and shit. And they just...
With, like, knives?
With knives and running towards the police. Yeah, I've seen that. And it 100% seems like they know how to handle that situation.
They're chill about it, right?
They're chill about it. They back them off. They try to calm them down. And if they don't, they tase them. Or maybe at the very least you shoot them in the leg or in the foot.
Every time I see like a video like this, I think of my sibling that, you know, has that personality that.
Well, one time, you know, we were
controversial.
Yes, well, one time we were somewhere where this guy's son that we knew came in and he had been on like a mix of drugs that just fucked him up, and he was like going crazy. Yeah. Like trying to fight everyone.
I wouldn't want them to shoot my oldest brother, you know? Like, I would want them to...
That's what I'm saying. They had to come in there and, like, corral him.
Right. Yeah.
Like an expert. And they shoot him up with something and sedate him. Like an animal. Like a damn animal that's going crazy. Yeah. I mean, because really, that's the type of state that person's mind is in. It's in, like, a very primitive state.
They can get, like, trapped, right?
It's in, like, a primitive state.
They get trapped.
It's just, it is scary, but yeah, those people need help. They don't need to be shot.
Yeah, they don't.
And they said what he was doing.
Deserve 7 bullets.
I don't know. Did you hear what he was doing before? Because I saw.
No, I don't really know that part of the story. Right? It happened so quick that no one really knows anything about this one.
Well, they said what happened was he saw 2 other girls that were in a fight. He went over and he broke it up. But then when the police showed up, he knew he had warrants for his arrest.
So he came after him.
So he was trying to take off, and they were probably like, "Hey, you need to stay and answer questions." I mean, I don't know. This is based on what I read in an article.
Right.
He says, "Hey, you should stay and answer questions." This guy wasn't complying with the police officer, who's probably telling him, you need to. He started telling him, probably you need to put your hands behind your back or something. You need to show me your hands.
Yeah, he's
and
telling
he didn't
him
want
something.
to. And some people can be very like
controversial.
I'm gonna
do the opposite of
even
what
if they're
saying.
not on drugs.
Right, my oldest brother. You tell him to do something, he's gonna do the opposite.
Because I don't think this guy was on drugs.
Exactly. Even at a young age. I'm just saying my oldest brother did.
Like the type of guy like that probably got in trouble. Like it starts at a young age. Like you'll get in trouble in class. You'll talk back to the teacher. You'll be that kid.
That was my oldest brother. Yeah.
But that doesn't mean those people deserve to be killed.
I don't want my oldest brother to have 7 bullets and then be paralyzed.
Yeah, now the guy's paralyzed. It's gonna be, but I'm glad that he's alive. That's gonna make things a lot crazier. If one of these other guys that had this crazy shit happen to him was alive, I mean, things might be different. So we'll see. I mean, at the end of the day, statistically, stuff like this is going to happen because all the cops are white. Unfortunately, minorities are poor. So they have to do things like steal and do shit, be in gangs, do things they wouldn't want to do. So this type of stuff is going to happen forever. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, in my delivery process, I've been like very close in like, I guess I would call them less fortunate neighborhoods.
Yes.
And it's a whole different life, and it's very close to us, like not even 20 minutes away.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I don't know. It's just all along the signs they have like gang graffiti everywhere, like. Markings.
Yo, and it's amazing. You can go 2 blocks over, or I mean, not 2 blocks. You can go 15 minutes away, and it's a rich neighborhood.
Especially in the middle of Austin.
100%.
I could go like down the street, and it'd be gated. It'd be nice as shit.
Every city's like that, I think.
Right.
Right outside the city is fucked up. Inside the city's okay, and then really far outside the city's usually pretty nice.
There's like. Have you heard in Austin that like this homeless ordinance has caused a lot of homeless to be there?
Oh, yes. I've seen it. They're on the fucking side of the highway. I've talked about it a lot in videos. They're on the side of the highway. They're fucking dirty. They're bringing a bunch of trash.
A lot of them.
They're all in the trees. Some of them are under bridges.
It's everywhere.
They're congregating. They're having barbecues.
They're chilling.
They're on their iPhones.
Some of them have vehicles like outside. I swear.
like
I've seen it with my own eyes. Like okay,
you're riding around, man.
They have a tent right, like in the middle of under the bridge. That's a tent.
Well, because
I'm just being honest.
But for people that don't know, Dave is because we never told them in during this podcast. You drive for Amazon,
right? And I have to go into the city, or used to a lot. Especially in the middle of downtown Austin. I mean, they have tents there, but they also have a vehicle, and like it's parked right outside.
A vehicle? What type of vehicle though?
A car,
like
dude, like a car or a truck. I mean, it's old. It's an old, beat up car, but they have one. But like just chilling there,
and they're all use it. You think?
No, it's like parked. Like this dude has his setup,
you think
right?
He's scamming?
I don't know, but his.
Well, because there's people.
He's like a professional homeless, right?
There's people that'll do that. They'll scam, but they have a car now.
Maybe.
Well, panhandling in Austin before there was so many homeless here, you could make a lot because there was some, but there wasn't as many because it was illegal.
And now
but they didn't really
legal.
give a fuck because it's liberal here. So like, just because things are illegal, like smoking weed is super illegal in certain parts of Texas, but then if you go into Austin and you have weed on you, you can't even get arrested. All you can get is a ticket.
Yeah.
Unless you have a fucking crazy amount.
I heard recently they stopped giving tickets.
They're like, be on your way, or maybe they confiscate it?
Yeah, they'll slap you on the wrist and like scold you and like, don't you want to be better in life or something like that? They'll do cop shit, you know.
Yeah, I mean, before, like, they would definitely make you take a drug class or something like that.
Yeah, which is strange, right? Especially if you just have weed on you. Drugs have such a stigma, right? Because weed is not anything like Xanax or
no
or heroin
or alcohol
or they're all they're different, right?
Every time that I drink too much, I think,
I'm
why
dying.
would anyone ever try to operate a car while like this? It doesn't make any sense.
Right. You leave your body. Like, how is that? If you drink too much, you can black out and like leave your body. You'll still be doing stuff, but you won't remember. Have you? That can happen. I've had it happen.
That's happened to you?
Yes. Like I remember forgetting to. I was asleep, but I remember sleeping. Right.
But how much would you say you drank, and did you eat? I mean, do you remember?
I'll be honest.
How old were you? Was this during college?
Yeah, around that. I'll be honest. I did a little bit of something, like a party drug.
Okay.
And then I drank some, which you probably shouldn't have been done, but someone was peer pressuring me. All right. And I remember partying.
Woman, a man.
This was like it was at a tournament, right? It was at a tournament. Like we were playing darts that night.
At a tournament.
Basically, like some guys just set it up, and then it was a party. It was like a party for some girl as well.
What the fuck? Okay.
It was like a party night, right?
Okay.
Back in the day, in the day, you could party.
But was everyone experimenting?
Somewhere, I don't know.
So it was like a party thing.
I was like, someone would just be throwing a birthday party, and we're also happen to be playing darts in the garage.
No, but I meant the drug.
Oh, it was ecstasy.
I know, but like, was it a party where everyone was doing that?
A good amount, handful.
Okay. Well, that makes more sense.
And so, anyways, back to the alcohol killing you, right?
Yes.
I forget. I was partying.
Well, that changes everything, though.
I was partying, and then all I remember was dancing, and then my sibling waking me up. Hey, we got to go. Like you have to hop on the bus. Like, I don't remember falling asleep that night.
You have to hop on the bus?
Yeah, because I had to go home. Like, I was visiting them.
Oh, well, this story is fucking crazy, actually. But I don't know if that has to do with... Have you ever felt like that from drinking before, or was it just the ecstasy?
It was definitely the drug, which is...
So is that what you mean? Like
everything
those
is
types
different.
Of drugs are so different? Is that
everything is different, right? So drugs have this stigma about them.
I thought you were talking about drinking.
The drinking too, it's different.
Like you've blacked out from drinking or no?
Yes.
See, I've never blacked out.
I
just don't let myself get to that. Like, I will probably throw up before that point.
Because you could leave your body, right? Like, you don't remember it.
It's scary. Like,
it's scary, right?
People be saying that shit, and I'm like, what do you mean? Like, you don't remember. I don't, like, I've had pretty much everyone tell me, I don't remember.
I've had it happen one time.
What do you mean? And what happened? I don't know. I don't remember. What the fuck?
One time, yes.
Well, because I'm not a big drinker, really.
It's scary.
Even during college, I wasn't the type, like, if I was going to go out and drink with some people, it would just be, like, maybe 2 shots or, like, a couple of beers. Like, I wouldn't go crazy. Like, some people would be all draped over, all fucked up.
Yeah, college was a strange time.
The only place I ever get really drunk would be at my house. Because everything's controlled. I can just go lay in the bed and die.
And slowly die. Alcohol kills you a little inside.
Liquor, definitely. Ooh, you can feel it. Like, man, this is bad for me. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know why anyone would drink and then get behind a motor vehicle.
It's not something that should be done.
All right, so we're actually going to start the advice portion of the podcast now. I'm going to be reading off this first one. We'll see what we'll see what Dave thinks.
Is it a long one?
Oh, it's long. Might have to popcorn read this one.
Is it a lengthy one?
Here we go. So I, 21 female, met this guy, 24 male, at a friend's performance/show, and was instantly attracted to him. Met her at the rock show.
That's a convenient date. Sounds like a fun date.
He was doing photography at the event. Oh.
He's not a rocker.
He's not a rock star. Since I'm really into photography, I decided to make the first move. I introduced myself to him when he was talking with a friend of mine. Since then, we text each other over Instagram every single day. We really hit it off.
Nice. Really,
but no texting, just on Instagram. I feel like that's good at first, though, because when
you're getting to know, like,
when you don't really know someone, you don't want to... Like, it's weird to reply to a text a day late, but not to an Instagram message, right?
Yeah, I mean Instagram is like a different form, right?
Yeah,
So.
I didn't see that. Didn't read it.
Maybe. I mean, you're just getting to know this person.
Yeah, and you don't have as much to talk about. Anyways, this was back in February. Due to our schedules not matching up, we didn't get to go on the date that we had planned. Lockdown soon came into effect, and it made it impossible to see each other. I'm very open to whatever, as long as you tell me what you want first. So, like, I guess what she's saying, she would be friends with benefits. She would be a girlfriend, whatever you want her to be.
As long as you let her know.
When you tell her jump, she's gonna say how high.
That's cool.
It's a dangerous place to put yourself. I'm just being honest. Very dangerous place to put yourself. It sounds like someone that says that, they probably have an expectation, though. Everyone has an expectation.
Maybe. That's a weird age, right? She's 21?
And she's 20. She's 21, he's 24.
Oh. Yeah, maybe that's a weird age.
Okay, here we go.
Your brain's developing.
Seeing shit coming, I asked him to tell me exactly what he wanted, and I'd be down for it as long as we were on the same page. He told me he could tell we wanted the same thing if he was going for a quick fuck.
What? Did you read this
Oh,
one?
no, I'm sorry, I messed that up. He told me he could tell we wanted the same thing, and if he was going for a quick fuck, he would have done it when we first met.
Romantic.
So
he's a romantic. He's wooing you.
Anyway, since lockdown came into effect, he told me how much he regretted not being able to see me. We made stupid pet names for each other. We established we liked each other, etc. It was hard for me because I'm someone who very much prefers face-to-face interactions, but FaceTime and iMessage games help a little. Yeah, fuck that.
Yeah, the Matrix helps.
Face-to-face, touching skin to skin?
It's different.
I mean, yeah.
I've had relationships on
distance?
both sides. Not really, but like she couldn't date.
Have you been to where you couldn't just pop in?
Yeah. I mean, it was like at a young age, so I didn't.
Oh, well, that's.
But it wasn't like now.
Like, since you've been able to drive and stuff and go wherever you want, have you been in where you can just pop in?
No.
Oh, I have.
Oh.
And complicated. It's hard, man. It's just hard. It's not an easy thing to deal with. Because if you get into a fight, you're just in a fight. You're just in a fight, man. Like, because when you make up with someone, you have to make up in person. You know what I mean? So if you get in a fight, you just stay in the fight
forever
till you see them, and then you gotta settle the fight, man, before you can have any fun. Anyways, mid-May swings by, and he tells me he has to go back to his home country early June because it's too expensive to stay, and he needs to work. His home country dealt with COVID extremely well, so he could work freely if he left. He told me he'd be back for my birthday in a few months, although he was leaving. He told me not to forget about him, etc. A week before he left, he suddenly stopped talking to me, but we started talking again when he landed in his home country. We spoke like normal again. He suddenly stopped talking to me again. God, what?
His home country. Where is he from?
You want to pick up from here? It starts there. His birthday is in early June.
What sign would that be?
Huh?
What sign would that be? His birthday was in early July, so I'd already bought him a gift. He's into fashion design, and I always see him sketching clothing designs on lined paper, so I got him a sketch pad. I also got him a cassette player and made him a mixtape of chill songs that I liked.
He's a lo-fi hip-hop type guy, man.
He plays those little...
It's like the modern-day hipsters.
With the little microphone, with the earphone girl.
Yeah.
So I'm really into old school shit. Well, the only time we spoke again was when I asked for his address so I could send him the gift. When I messaged him to say happy birthday, he He didn't even open our chat.
And she sent him all this stuff to his country?
He didn't even open the chat. He didn't open it.
Why not?
A week goes by, and when the president arrived, he said he loved it so much he could have cried, etc. Since we've been talking sporadically, and only I replied to his Instagram story, or he replied to mine or something. So they're still on Instagram, no texting.
But he lives probably thousands of miles away.
Different country.
Probably wakes up at a different time.
It's left me confused because that is the same guy that told me not to forget him when he goes, and that we both clearly want the same thing. I'm really hurt. Before it was both starting combos regularly, then it was just me, and no, we don't even talk. I also noticed he removed me from his private/personal Instagram.
He's one of those guys.
We both have a business.
Who the fuck has a private Instagram? A guy?
I believe this man has a private Instagram.
He's posting his videos in the strip club on there now.
He's doing something.
His big titty videos.
I don't like wasting my energy on multiple people either. I'm not vain, but I can appreciate the fact that I am indeed fairly attractive. And since he and I have been talking, I've been asked on dates and a multitude of times. Once lockdown eased, of course, and we were allowed to go on dates, etc. So I don't think she's went on it yet. She's been asked about.
So what's she saying? Is it time for her to move on?
Kind
of, right?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe here.
It is.
Oh, yeah.
For the time being, it's time for you to move on.
It says, as I write this, I'm really starting to believe I've wasted my time. Do I wait for him to come back? He comes back early September. I'm aware it's only a few weeks left till he comes back, and I've already essentially waiting since May.
Well, you might as well wait it out then.
But my pride is hurt, and I feel like going on dates with other people would make me feel better about myself, while simultaneously weighing out my options. I don't know, man. Since we aren't in a relationship, he doesn't owe it to me to message me. He doesn't owe it to me to message me, so it won't make sense for me.
Yes, but if he's expecting the goodies when he comes home, you gotta send a message every now and then.
You gotta check it every once.
He's doing some shit over there, I'll tell you that.
He took you off the privates now?
He's doing some shit over there. But what I would maybe do if I was you is go on one date, and if it goes terrible and you're like, man, I missed this other guy the whole time, then you're like, fuck yeah, well, I'll wait for him and we'll see if we can work this out. But maybe you go on a great date and then you're like, fuck that guy. He I was holding it down for him and he didn't want to hold it down for me in New Zealand or wherever he went.
Across the country.
What do you think, Dave?
I guess it's soon, right, when he comes back. But
it's very soon, actually.
I guess the pride gets in the way a little. Pride's a weird kind of thing.
Pride, jealousy.
Yep. That would get you.
What would you do if you were her? Wait?
I mean, I guess the save chess move would be, you can always go on dates afterwards, right? You can always break things off and be like, hey, it's not working out.
Definitely.
Yeah. Maybe.
You could never see him if you want when he comes back. You do whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah.
The ball, to me, is in your court because he's the one who's been acting fucked up.
I guess whatever decision you make, it'll be your decision, right? So you'll be okay with that.
Okay, so we good on that one?
Yeah.
I think your final advice is, the guy is kind of being an asshole, and it sounds like he's not very interested in taking you serious, at least at this point. So, do whatever you want, and I would do it without feeling any sort of remorse. If you really feel like it's worth it, though, try it out.
I think he'll be all right.
Wait for him. Okay, this next guy, he says, so I'm going into my junior year in high school, and I live in Utah. In my school, if you're not Mormon, you're an outcast. Wow. Oh. Everywhere else, if you are Mormon, you're the outcast.
Yeah.
We went to school with two Mormon chicks.
And
One of them pisses me off on Facebook. You ever see that?
I think I know who you're talking about.
Because she's one of those people that's like, I get your point, but you're taking it too far. And how about
you're going too far into it?
And how about all the people in every single religion have done sick ass shit?
Everywhere around the world.
Everywhere around the world, there's been sick ass shit that happened at one point or another.
Down. But it's all being uncovered.
Anyways, he says so. If you're not Mormon, you're an outcast. Basically, all the momos. What was that?
That's the weird
Mormons.
Term.
That sounds racist.
It sounds right.
Hey, man. I didn't mean to say that.
Hey, we'll edit that out.
Basically, all the Mormons just look down on you. Or are always acting super zealous over everyone that isn't a Mormon.
They want that freedom.
Let me close this window. Oh, shit. I hit my mic.
There's certain things that you can't do.
Anyways, sorry. Just had to handle some business.
Back to this Momo.
I used to be a member, but I don't believe in it anymore, so I am inactive. Yeah. I think that's a good choice, man. I mean, you know what? Not gonna tell anyone what to do about religion. Luckily, it's not as bad for me as it is for some other kids. I have a close friend, and he decided to leave the church and all because all of the momos were telling him to kill himself because of it.
Oh, man.
That's just an example of what people deal with. Okay. I mean, that's typical school shit. People be saying... certain kids are going to get picked on, man.
People do that shit at every school. I mean, it doesn't make it right, but at every school, that shit goes down.
But I don't get what's so cool or what's not cool about not being Mormon.
Right? It's like a different area, right? It's hard to get into that
Mormonism,
right
I mean, it's almost like you're living in the old world or some shit.
You build your own things, right? Like, you build a farm? You build, like, a farmhouse?
Maybe.
You probably tend to some horses, and
I think you're thinking of Amish, bro.
I'm thinking of Amish, yeah.
You're thinking of people that, like, don't have electricity and shit.
Mormon's different.
Well, we went to school with those Mormon girls. I think they had, like, a house and shit. You're thinking of, like, Amish. There's Amish people that live in this neighborhood.
Oh.
They be on some crazy shit.
I'm thinking of Amish.
Okay, well, this guy's Mormon. Anyways, what I need advice on is there's this girl. She's the biggest baddie Mormon in the school, in my opinion. She's not very popular. She's into soccer and is just about the nicest girl you'll ever meet.
Soccer girls are good.
I've talked to her a few times, but I really like her, and I'm worried that she's not gonna like me or look down on me because I left the church. So I guess his parents are still in the church.
Right.
If they were trying to keep him Mormon. It's a rebellious move, man. But I think that around that age, you have to go and do, like, missionary work and stuff like that. Like right after you graduate high school. So this guy was like, I'm going to make it clear.
I'm not doing that shit.
Yeah. Fuck that. Fuck the Mormon. Is it just God?
Is it God?
Fuck the Mormon God.
I don't know different religions really, but
there's some religions that just really encompass the person's whole life. And I don't think that's what religion's supposed to be about. It's not supposed to. Like,
I heard stories about, like, I don't know if you were telling me this, but at one of these schoolings that they made people, like, write down what they've done wrong. But this was a different religion.
And what about it? They made them write down all their sins, or what?
Right. That's
what type of religion?
And someone read it.
What do you mean someone read it?
Whoever was in charge of the class.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, it's like the priest. When you're in Catholic, you go to the confession and you go talk to the priest and tell him everything you've done wrong.
I was raised in a different
because you never church. Yeah, like there's nothing like that in what is in
a different in Christianity.
It's just really a Christian church, right?
There's not really like I don't think
it's non-denominational. That's what I mean. In those types of churches, it's just more like show up, we talk about God, and then you're out.
Yeah. religion's kind of a strange thing, you know.
Catholic religion was fucked, man.
Yeah, especially if you leave that religion and those people, they have like if you were to leave this church.
That type of religion? Yeah. I mean, like, I am someone that I did all the Catholic stuff, but then I'm done. Like, I left the church, I guess, in a way. I don't practice. I never go to church, and I think a lot of it in that specific church setting, Catholic.
Yeah, so would you date like a girl or anything? Would you pursue anything with a girl who is super Catholic?
I mean, I have, yeah. I don't care.
That's kind of his situation.
Because
right?
you know what? I can just slide. I mean, I know enough about it where I can get by, and I can still go to the church. I'm not going to burn up. I don't give a fuck. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I couldn't be with... I don't know if I could be with the girl who was fucking Scientology or some crazy shit like that. But I don't see the problem with this guy.
I don't... Why not? I mean, you would regret it if you didn't.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. He says, but I really like her and I'm worried that she's not going to like me or look down on me because I left the church. I'm not the best looking guy at the school, but I'm in shape, get good grades, and play lacrosse. Pretty good. You don't got to be the best looking guy. Are you funny?
You tell a joke.
Got to be able to tell a joke. You're not going to get any type of...
Hey, that's a hard thing for some people, you know?
Personality time. Yeah, that personality always carried me. It did. It has to. It had to carry me. I'm not particularly like... You don't see me and think, man, so sexy. You know what I mean? It's all in the personality, man. I mean, I've met girls that like...
They're quirky?
Yeah, like just seeing them, you're like, oh yeah, like she's cute or whatever. But then once you meet them and they're really cool, it makes them more attractive. Mm-hmm. It's just human nature or whatever. So yeah, I hope this guy has a good personality. He said the other thing that I could use help with is deciding a career. I have no idea what to do with my life. I enjoy sports, video editing, the outdoors, skiing, and traveling. If you could help me, or at least give me some possible careers you'd think I'd enjoy, that'd be great. Dude, freaking, you should be a linesman.
A lines.
They make so much money. The people that mess with and put up power lines.
Linesman.
Yeah, that's something that if you want to make a lot of money, not have to travel that much, but get to travel a little bit, and still work outside, work with your hands, do some type of electric work. Pretty good, and you don't have to go to school. You just right off the bat probably making at least $60K to $100K a year. It's a lot of money.
It seems like a pretty cool job.
I mean, if you're good at that stuff and you're not scared of heights, definitely. What other types of jobs? You could go and study like agriculture if you want to go to college.
Yep.
Outdoors, you can be a what's that shit called?
Like a game warden.
A game warden or a park ranger. There's tons of stuff that you can do, but man, it sounds like you're in a place where you're not very accepted, and I'm sure that sucks. And I'm sure you feel like, you know, you're the weird one, but in all honesty, like, I'm sure you're the most normal kid there.
We're back. I think everything will be okay. You'll eventually find something, like, even if you do something that you...
And to talk, what do you think you should say to the girl? Or how do you think you should approach this girl?
I mean, why not? You know?
I mean, just think he's a junior in high school. I know the COVID thing's going to make everything harder.
Yeah. Probably will, but I mean, it might make it a little unique. Maybe y'all sneak around.
Maybe. I don't know how they're doing it. I think high schools are back, man. I don't think high schools are doing virtual.
People aren't stopping sneaking around.
I feel really bad for you kids that are still in school, by the way. God damn.
Doesn't seem fun.
I mean, I would make it fun, but man, it's fucked for the world's sake.
It's a lot different.
I mean, there's kindergartners learning on the fucking computer.
Do you think they're actually learning, though? You just think they're just fucking
absorbing
this light in and fucking...
I think it's super hard.
Yeah, that'd be weird, right? Especially, what if a computer taught you how to read? You think they're capable of that?
That's a really good point. I think a computer could teach you a lot better than a person. It's virtually.
Like an AI?
Man, just a program.
Mm.
Just even like a basic program. Like, yeah, did you ever used to play like Jumpstart games and shit like that on the computer?
I think so.
Like educational games.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I mean. Shit like that.
No more school.
Fuck school, man.
It was a unique experience.
School?
School?
It's important. It's important for your social development, if not anything else.
Right? There's certain things that come with being around.
Well, we had a friend that was homeschooled for a while, and then he jumped into school.
Yeah, like middle school age.
And he was an interesting guy.
I remember he got sick a lot.
He would get sick all the time.
Because his immune system was down.
He had that weak immune system, man, and had been around a bunch of germs.
And if that could happen, then anything could happen. Yep.
But he was one of the only kids I've seen go from being homeschooled to, like, people actually like them in school.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, a lot of times, like, oh, man, that kid was homeschooled.
Uh-huh.
But now it's probably just going to be normal. I'm sure that from here on out, there's going to be a fuckload of people that are just homeschooled their whole life.
If they had the proper, like, I guess, environment.
Like if you have a parent that can do that shit.
Right.
Or if they can hire a tutor or a
Mm-hmm.
teacher. Yeah. Don't be surprised when these rich motherfuckers start hiring teachers that just teach their kids from home.
Yep, one-on-one.
I'm sure it's happening. Like, if I had, like, kids and I knew some lady in the neighborhood knew how to teach, and I met 15 other parents who said, yeah, all of our kids are the same age in this neighborhood, let's all send them to her.
Yep, every morning.
Today we're doing math. Little House on the Prairie style, buddy.
Tomorrow we're going to look at the economy.
A 9-year-old in there. You got a 16-year-old.
On Wednesday we're going to play some music. We're going to bring out the little flute or something.
Shit. Yeah, everyone bring your own instrument. Nah, man. But to close this guy's advice out, just do you, man. It sounds like you're almost out of there, and
you have like a whole different world after.
You seem like you seem like you're done with this. So like, if you want to get the hell out of there, by all means, go for it. Yeah, I would.
It'll be a whole different world.
Yeah, you've been in this whole life of one religion. But that's actually it for all the advice.
Solid.
Only 2 this day. I would say this podcast around about an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Is that good for you?
Yeah, somewhere around there.
What do you have any closing statements, Dave? How are you feeling today?
We're gonna see how everything shapes out in the streets, with the riots and the protests and the groups clashing with the police every night.
How everything works out in these virtual streets too with our podcast.
Yep. Big
upload coming. Because after this, we're gonna include the video too.
Oh.
That's really gonna get it popping.
Really?
This is still like a trial. This is still like what I would call a trial run. So I hope you guys are excited. I purchased all this fucking equipment.
It's a lot of stuff.
Taking up Dave's time. We're taking up my time. And I think it's really going to be worth it.
Pumping them out.
Thanks for watching, guys. We'll be back next week.
Come back in 7 days.
Yeah, we'll be back in about 7 days, depending on when I post this. It should be pretty quick. And, yeah, guys. Adios. We'll catch you later.
Later.
Any shout-outs, Dave?
Not today.
Shout out to, come on, we gotta give one shout out.
Who brought us all this equipment?
Me. Shout out to me, man. Shout out to the brand. That's it.
Shout out to the brand.
Peace. Adios.
Later.